listen, why you feel drained around certain people. I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but when you're done talking to somebody, you feel like crap. You feel like you've been overthinking. You feel like a little like anxiety ridden. You feel a little anxious. You feel a little irritated. You feel a little flustered. All those things mean something. All right. So today, real briefly, we're going to talk about why you feel drained around certain people. Okay. And you really have to tap into your self-awareness. And you probably already done had these experiences. So it shouldn't be nothing too out of the ordinary. Okay. So if you've ever left a feeling, if you've ever left a conversation feeling exhausted, even though nothing happened dramatically, you wasn't fighting, you wasn't arguing, but you just felt exhausted, depleted. Okay, if this happened to you, you are not too sensitive and you are not imagining it. It is real. Some people will say it's not about energy. I'm against that. I believe in energy. You exchange energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. When you just talk to somebody briefly, like small talk, it's an energy exchange. Words is energy. We carry energy, so it's always an energy exchange going on. But it also may have something to do with the emotional labor part of it. Okay, so what do I mean by the emotional labor? It's like over explaining yourself or trying to manage the other person's emotions, or like walking on eggshells because you don't want to say the wrong thing, or you don't want to offend somebody, or people pleasing, or trying to be liked or understood, versus being your natural, true, authentic self. All right, that stuff takes a lot of energy out of you when you have to explain stuff to people that just don't understand. They don't understand you. They don't understand your path. They don't understand your calling. They don't understand why you on the path you on. They don't understand why you into the things you into. They don't understand why you talk the way that you do. They don't understand your interests, and you just steady explaining to them, I'm doing this, I'm pursuing that. You over explain this stuff to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. They don't want to understand you. Or you trying to manage other people's emotions. That take too much time. It take way too much energy to do that, okay? So you're not tired from being around them, more than likely. But if we talking about energetically, yeah, they probably sucking all your energy right about you. But you also could be tired from who you have to be in front of them. You know what I mean? And it's normal. Like, we all have people in our lives that's, they in certain categories. Whether that's you close to them, whether it's family, whether it's acquaintance, you sometimes you have to show up a certain way in certain environments and around certain people, and that can drain your energy. Another thing that might be happening too is that you have to pay attention to your nervous system. All right, your nervous system is kind of like that fight or flight. Whether you feel comfortable or you feel like there's a potential threat. Okay, your nervous system might not feel comfortable, might not feel safe around whoever it may be. Your body could feel the tension before your mind notices it. Like, your body is really intelligent, and y'all don't want to get me started on that, because y'all know, well, if you don't know, I do have a background in dance. At one point I was interested in dance movement therapy. At one point I moved to another state to pursue dance movement therapy. Didn't work out. Moved back to Ohio, still pursuing therapy, right? Ohio need to catch up. I'm put that out there. Ohio need to catch up. We have art therapy. We have music therapy. We do not have movement therapy. A lot of people shy away from the D word, which is dance, but it's very powerful. That mind-body connection is very powerful. But your body notices. Your body keep the score. I don't know if you ever read that book as well. But some of the signs, and symptoms and stuff you may experience where you can't mentally make sense of it, You might have a tight chest. You might breathe a little bit more shallow. You might be overthinking things in your mind afterwards, or replaying the conversation or the stuff that you talked about. All right. When your nervous system is on alert, even the most minute tension feels exhausting. And especially depending on how often you around them, how much you talk to them, and things like that. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth. It takes time to really notice like the physical effects, because it took me some years to notice how whenever I talk on the phone with a certain individual, I'm not going to say no names, I love this person, but whenever I talk to this person on the phone and then I get off of the phone, I start to feel like anxiety. Like, I start to feel like something could be wrong, or something is wrong, or something is about to happen. And it took me so long to realize this. I'm telling you, to notice like how my body felt after a conversation. And then it finally clicked. Like I finally noticed that because they were an anxious person, overly anxious person, it kind of like projected on me during the conversation. And so I started to feel like I'm anxious when I'm like, I don't have nothing to be anxious for. But I noticed whenever I talk to this certain individual, every time I get off the phone, like I could, like my heart will beat faster. I would just get on high alert. And I guess that was my nervous system telling me like, I feel something. I feel some energy. I feel some tension. I feel something. Right? And so you have to pay attention to those things and be aware. And like you pay attention to how you feel. I think there's a quote, I forgot who was it by. I think it was Maya Angelou. And it says, people will forget what you did. People will forget what you said. People will never forget how you made them feel. And I don't know. That quote always stuck to me for some reason. Like, forget what you did, forget what you said, but never forget how you made them feel. How they made you feel. Like, that's important. And I've noticed the difference as well. I've noticed talking to somebody with good energy, peaceful. And after our conversation, I feel more energized. I feel more inspired. I feel more motivated. I feel more alive. Like, I feel better within myself talking to certain people. And those are the people essentially that gets supposed to get or should get most of your time. All right, another thing that could be like draining you as well is asking, are you abandoning yourself? What do you mean, Sadie? Like, what do you mean, am I abandoning myself? Okay, are you saying yes to certain things that you know doggone well you want to say no to? Okay, are you shrinking? Are you shrinking yourself because you don't want to look like the oddball, or you don't want to look like a know-it-all, or you don't want to look like the one that think they know everything to make somebody else feel comfortable? Or did you ignore some type of discomfort, something somebody said, something somebody did, a look? I'm not saying you have to call out everything that bothers you or make you feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that. You pick and choose your battles. But if it's something that really bothers you, this is part of self-love. It's part of self-love. It's speaking up for yourself. It's taking up for yourself. It's having respect for yourself. That's what self-love is. And when you silent, when you don't take up for yourself, when you a people pleaser, when you say yes when you wanted to say no, when you shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable, it creates internal conflict. It makes you feel a certain way internally, and that drains your energy. Because and I know that something is off, and it's okay sometimes to address that. All right, but don't stop there. We're gonna keep going. All right. Another reason your energy could be drained, you got to look at the dynamic of the relationship. You know, relationships are meant to be mutual. So you got to look at, you know, are you the person they always call when they need to talk, when they need to vent, when they need to get something off their chest, or when they need something? That's a problem. And if it's not reciprocal, are you always the listener? Are you always the fixer? They don't ask about how you doing or consider what you got going on. This one right here, we could pause right here real quick. Because I done had people like that too. I done talked to people like that. I'm not going to say no names out here, y'all. I ain't going to say no names. But you know what I'm talking about through experience. Where it's like, you know, your birthday could be tomorrow. And they talking about, oh, I'm having a get together tomorrow. And in your mind, they first off, they never even asked you if you available, if you busy, if you got plans. They just automatically like, yeah, make sure you there. Make sure you show up. Not even realize your whole birthday tomorrow. You don't want to be over there with them. You want to do your own thing. You want to be celebrating yourself. But it's just the little like things that's inconsiderate. You know, they not checking for you. They not worried about you. Or feeling like you always the supporter or you always the cheerleader. There was a time I was there too. I felt like I was everybody else's cheerleader. Cheering them on, supporting them, clapping for them. When it's my time to do my thing, everybody in the background don't have nothing to say. It's like crickets. Right? That's a one-sided relationship. Healthy relationships feel mutual. And they feel comfortable. They feel safe. They don't feel exhausting. They not supposed to feel heavy. All right, so what do you do about these things? Let's go a step further. All right, you notice some things. Certain people you talk to, you feel exhausted. The relationship is one-sided. The conversation is one-sided. Okay, Sadie, what do I do? Do I cut them off? I stop talking to them? I move on? What do I do? First, notice it. First is awareness. I always say that. Awareness. You can't change something until you are consciously aware of it. And a lot of times we have to go through stuff 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, a few times to get the lesson, to see the pattern, right? And that's normal. We human. We make mistakes, right? So you got to notice it first. You got to notice it at every stage. Before, during, and after you talk to them. Before, during, and after you around them. How did you feel before you got on that phone? How did you feel before you went to that event? All right. Now that you on the phone, how do you feel? Now that you at the event, how do you feel? And then after you get off the phone, how do you feel? After you get in your car and drive home, how do you feel? You feel like crap or do you feel energized? You feel motivated? How do you feel? And that'll take you to your next step. Whether that's making the time shorter that you spend around certain people or on the phone with certain people. Time is precious. We're going to talk about that this week later, but time is precious. You got to protect it. Your energy is precious. You're precious. So you have to protect that at all costs. So maybe you can just go to the event maybe for 30 minutes and then, hey, I got to leave. I got to be somewhere, but I wanted to stop by. I wanted to support. I wanted to show my face, but I got to leave. Or if you on the phone, hey, you know what? Somebody calling on the other line. This is important. I need to take it. I'll call you back. I got to go. Somebody at my door. I got to go. I'm driving right now. I got to get off the phone. Shorten it. And then setting small boundaries. Like, now this is something I had to learn. Because it was one point I didn't know how or what to do about the things that and the patterns and stuff that I noticed. I didn't know what to do about it. So I would just stop talking. I would just be like, delete my phone number. Don't call me. Leave me alone. Just forget I exist. I used to be black and white. We in or we out. I had to find that gray area. I had to find it. I didn't know where it was at. I didn't know how to find it before. So I would just get gone. Like, you see me and now you don't. Kind of like that. But I learned over time, you don't have to do that. Especially depending on who the person is or who the people is. You don't necessarily have to just dismiss yourself. You know what I mean? Boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, certain boundaries. Like, hey, if you're going to come to my house, I need you to call before you come. Don't just pop up at my house, please. Or you know what? I'll be at work until 5 o'clock. Call me after 6, after 7:30. Give me a chance to get home. I can unwind. Then you could call me. We could talk. Stop over functioning. You know, practice saying less sometimes instead of explaining. You know, you get so tired of explaining. Especially if it's the same thing. And I always feel like I'm explaining to people what I do or what I want to do or my interests, my goal. Just don't even mind it. Like, don't even say nothing. Like, just, hey, whatever. Look, sometimes whatever you have to let people live with whatever they come up with inside of their head. You don't have to over explain yourself. Okay, so pay attention to how you feel after being around somebody. Your body will tell you. Your body will tell you the truth. It'll tell you the truth. Okay, so we done finally made it. We done finally made it to the end of this video. But for real, if you constantly feel drained, it don't mean that you're weak. It might mean that you overgiving. You know, you deserve relationships that feel safe, that feel inspirational, that feels mutual, that feels supportive. You deserve that. So I need you to comment down on this video. You know, do you feel drained because you overgive, you may overthink, or you overadjust? Which one is it? Let me know. Talk to me. Tell me about some topics you guys interested in talking about. But before I go, remember, you are divine inspiration. You are a divine source of inspiration for your friends. You are a source of inspiration to your family. You are a source of inspiration to your community. You are a divine source of inspiration to every single person connected to you. And I'm going to tell you that. All right? So have a good week, a blessed week. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching the video in its entirety. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for catching the replay. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.